Okay, it's Vincent and Andrew again.
Hey, how you doing, Vincent?
Hi.
Good to see you.
All right, Tuesday.
We're talking about population, but as it relates to healthcare and the future of healthcare in Hong Kong.
All right.
A couple of things going on. Everybody's been talking about the aging of our population and how it's going to cause job shortages. Over at Harvard Times, we've been talking about it a lot. We talked about nurses and doctors, and one of our issues. The last one we just had. Helen Chan, chief economist of the Hong Kong government, has a big 2-page spread on the challenges Hong Kong faces on account of our shrinking labor force and our aging population. Little twist. Over the weekend, the Hong Kong University said they will start to accept students into nursing who do not have science degrees.
Oh.
Okay, now this is quite common in other places where you can even get into a medical school program and you don't have to have an undergraduate in the sciences. You have to do a certain number of science courses. You have to write an exam that shows that you have mastered a certain level of scientific and mathematical literacy, but you don't actually have to have a degree in the sciences. And I think this
Did they still call it the MCAT in the States?
I believe they still do, yeah. In North America, you still have to write the MCATs.
The MCAT is for medicine, right?
Yeah.
And then the GRE is generally for PhD.
Right.
And then the GMAT is
the GMAT I wrote for
the MBA. And then there's LSAT?
For lawyers.
For lawyers. So
That's
L
right.
for legal, M for medicine.
Yeah. So in Hong Kong, basically what they've said is we are going to run out of nurses. We're going to have piles of old people, not enough nurses. Hey, students, you don't have to have a degree in sciences anymore. Some might see it as lowering the bar. Some might see it as making it similar to other jurisdictions. But the end objective is to get more people into nursing because we are running out of nurses and we are not running out of old people they need to take care of.
So would you agree?
It's a fact. You can't argue with that. Whether it's Helen Chan is like hammering home the numbers here from the Hong Kong government. You can't argue with the facts. But will we get more nurses? We need them.
Well, whether or not you want to expand the base or lower the bar, the fact is we don't have enough nurses.
We don't have.
So
them
if
now.
you don't train enough nurses, and we still need so many nurses, so only two things can happen. You don't have sufficient nurses for sufficient care, or people without training will become carer.
Yeah, that's true.
Which will give you unacceptable level of services.
Yeah.
So I'm for it.
Well, the only other solution, of course, is immigration. And I've been talking about immigration a lot.
Import good nurses to Hong Kong.
Nurses, but I mean, everyone says, well, you're stealing them from countries that really desperately need them. So be it,
Yeah, but it's kind of, I have been thinking about that. It's kind of more difficult for nurses compared to other jobs or some other jobs. Well, first of all, even for a surgeon, some surgeon may not need to understand Cantonese completely.
Yeah.
And can still perform operation because they can have a translator.
Well, and so many of our doctors are trained in English.
Yeah,
trained in the
exactly.
UK, Canada.
But for
US.
nurses, because of the day-to-day care, and because they have to deal with patients on a daily basis or even on an hourly basis, it will be very difficult for them not to understand Cantonese. And for that reason, it will be very difficult for you to import nurses who do not understand Cantonese. Say, for example, if Andrew wants to become a nurse, you will have a very, very hard time.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't see me.
I'm trying to picture you in nurse uniform. Actually, you look
because there are male nurses and they don't have to wear skirts. But you hit the nail on the head when you said people who are not nurses will become caregivers.
Yeah, and that I'm worried.
But there's a place where those two things come together because when you talk about them speaking Cantonese, that means fitting into an institutional setting.
Yep.
But what happens right now in Hong Kong is people want to take care of their parents at home, so they get nurses from the Philippines.
That's true.
They are qualified nurses in the Philippines. They have no qualifications here. They come here under domestic helper wages because they still get paid better than a nurse in the Philippines, And so they come and they work here, even though they're qualified nurses in the Philippines. Yep. But putting them into a hospital or with the hospital authority, again, you're right, without the Cantonese, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. But for private care homes?
For private care, can be done.
For private care homes and private hospitals, this can be done.
Yeah.
Because they can afford translators.
Yeah.
But for the public hospital system, it will be extremely difficult.
Very difficult. I don't see us getting that many nurses from Guangdong province, where they do speak Cantonese. They might be able to take a very few out of places like Canada and Australia, try to entice people to come back. But I think that's going to be very tough after working in a North American institution.
I agree.
They'd have to work twice as hard here.
For a crowded room in Canada,
Yeah.
For a crowded room in Canadian hospital, you're talking about 4 patients in the room.
Yeah.
I mean, for Hong Kong, It's the 60 people, 16, or sometimes even 20 people in a room.
I mean, it's a totally different scene. So we are going to have a problem. It is going to the problem is going to intensify. Nurses is one of the areas, one of many professions where we're going to have a crunch.
So shall we devote the keyword to nurses?
Yeah, let's say today to nurses. Hats off to nurses and all the hard work they do.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right, cheers.
All right.